didn't even hear your truck. I've been sitting in my car waiting for it. I didn't hear you. What are you doing?
Teflon paste on the threads. That way I can put the couplings on and have that all ready to go.
Is this the new pipe for the well?
This is the new pipe for the well.
Alright.
We're using 1.25 inch, schedule 80. Because that's what size the outlet on the pump is.
Okay.
It seems like most pumps are 1.25 inch, but I chose to use PVC. We took the galvanized pipe out. We're putting PVC back in. A different option was HDPE blue pipe, blue poly, but I had a couple individuals that do this for a living say that they suggest against the blue poly, hanging a pump from the blue poly if it's more than 20 or 30 feet.
Okay, and how deep is ours?
The bottom is 145 feet, we're 115 feet water.
Okay. So what are we doing today with it? What have we been doing?
So I've been getting everything ready. Right now.
So we ordered the pump, we have the pump,
Yeah.
we put that together.
We have the pump. We ordered a 1-horse, single-phase, 240-volt Franklin pump and a Grundfos. No, it's Franklin motor. 1-horse, 240-volt, single-phase Franklin motor, and a Grundfos pump that is rated for the 1-horse motor. It's supposed to pump to 290 feet, but I think it'll give us 60 pounds of pressure at 160 feet of head, so it shouldn't have any problem getting the pressure that we need at the depth that we are.
Okay, so we're going to work on putting the pipe in and dropping the pump down?
We drop the pump down first.
Okay.
So my idea is to hang the pump from the rope.
Okay.
Instead of using the skid loader like we did to pull it out. The idea is to hang the pump from the rope and just lower it down. Is that what Kyle suggested? No.
Okay.
But it's fairly simple to lower something on a rope, not as easy to pull it up on a rope.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Well, yeah, it could be interesting. Hopefully it's uneventful.
Yeah, right.
2, 7, 12, 17. So we just got done tightening the couplings on the one end. I'm going to take the cover off the fitless well unit now, and we're going to set up to drop the well down, the pump and motor down the hole.
There's the pump.
That's our pump.
Hopefully it works.
Better work. So, this is the Franklin motor. This is the Grundfos pump. It's a all stainless pump from what I understand.
You put those two together.
I put these two together, yep. It's just 4 bolts, super simple. 4 nuts is all it was. But this is supposed to be the best motor you can find. This is supposed to, according to who I've talked to and the research I've done, this is supposed to be the best pump. It was a Franklin motor that we took out, but it was a different brand pump, and old, it was a pretty old pump and motor that we took out. But it had plastic parts. The pump was still good. It was the motor that was bad when we were testing things. But this is supposed to be all stainless, the impellers and everything. And then I just short nipple, check valve. It's supposed to be a high quality check valve. Just from one of the plumbing supply stores that I got stuff. The store that I got all the pipe from. I ordered the pump and motor from a couple different websites online.
Okay. So we drop the pump down first and then tighten the rope.
Yep, I'm going to straighten out this cable so that it doesn't tangle, and that way we have a way to retrieve it if something were to happen to the rope.
Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Hopefully that does not happen.
Alright. Now we're just going to tie the rope onto the pump.
I'm going to tie the rope onto the pump right here, onto this nipple. I'm going to take this tape off so that the wire goes straight up.
Okay.
I'm going to tape the wire this was just for transport purposes.
Okay, I see now.
I'm going to tape the wire, clarity mark the pipe every 5 feet. I'm going to tape the wire every 5 feet. And then I'm going to, Kyle, that was out here last week, suggested tying a half hitch just below every coupling. So I'm going to do that.
What's a half hitch?
Just a knot.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Putting up more scaffolding so he can put the pipe in better. Be a little easier. Just telling him.
Oh.
That's what we're doing. So we have the pipe in, right, Otis?
That's correct.
It's all in. Pump is down there. Pump's at the bottom.
So there's 140 feet of pipe and then about 4 foot of pump below that pipe.
And now we are...
So I'm going to make an adapter. This will screw on to the pipe. This will I need a short piece of PVC to put there.
What's the purpose of this?
Pressure gauge. This will all glue together. That threads into that. And then I can put a hose. I got a 2-inch hose I can put on here to the IBC tote that I was talking about earlier. And pressure gauge will go on here. We'll see if we got pressure. I'll be able to choke down the valve on the tote to restrict flow to gain pressure.
Okay.
And then it'll just be a little bit of math figuring out how fast the tote's filling up once we get it to the pressure that we're looking for.
So once you get this put together and on, then we can turn the pump on.
Then I can hook the electrical up.
Okay.
And hook everything to the generator.
Right. Cool.
So I need another trip. Do this fitting last because I don't want glue in it. I don't want glue in the threads. This is not the correct pipe to use for a pressure system, really. You know, this is sewer drain. It's adequate for what I'm doing, but it's not what you would typically use for water. What, you know, a pressurized water system. But this is just for testing purposes, is all we're doing here. There is a correct direction to install Teflon tape, thread tape, so that when I pulled the tape, pulled it this way so the outer edge is pointing that way, and then when I put my fitting on, my fitting is going to turn this way so that it's continuously pulling that tape tight. If your tape was going that way when you finished, then when you go to thread your fitting on, it would be peeling the tape off instead of tightening it up. And your tape wouldn't do its job of sealing your threads. Need to trim these wires so that I can hook them into these. Now here, temporary. I'm going to take this off the scaffold. So, if for no other reason than because I'm not hooking up the ground, we don't end up grounding through the scaffold and then ground through ourselves. We have to touch it. So this only has 3 wires. It's a 240 volt, but the pump that came out only had 3 wires. It did not have 3 wires and a ground. So we don't get to hook up a ground. I think I should call Kyle at this point. For totes, this is the hose. This is how we hooked up. It's just a cam lock to this T pressure gauge. And that's our drop pipe. This is purely for testing purposes. The pump was no good. The motor was no good when we started. So right now I'm just seeing if the well produces water. It's got water in it. It has water in it, but I don't know if it will just pump out or if it will sustain water. I have, at the suggestion of a friend, I have the pump a few inches off the bottom. It's held up by those chain vice grips. My wiring is pretty janky. I don't even know if I should show it. Do not wire anything like this. I'll show it as this is how not to do something. So there's, I don't know if you can see them in there, but there's 3 sets of either 12 or 14 2 Romex. Just a black and white wire in each one. You can see right here that they're not hooked, that one set is not hooked to anything. The second set, the white wire is not hooked to anything. The black wire's on red, the white wire's on yellow, the black wire's on black. So this is one Romex, this black and white, and this is another Romex. It's just, they're just using the black. And so, once again, we have black on red, white on yellow, black on black. Come back to this end. This is test purposes only. My old pump was a 3-wire pump. This is a 4-wire pump. So I have black on black, red on black, and then white on yellow. And then my 4th wire is my ground. Green is ground. I just have it grounded to the well pitless unit. I'm not real good with electrical. I want to say thanks to Kyle. I don't know if he wants me to say thanks to him on video or not, but I want to say thanks to Kyle for walking me through something so simple. I just don't, for some reason, I never have the confidence to turn the switch on. I always have to ask. Once he explained it to me, once he explained black, you know, it's just red, yellow, and black on the, up there at the control box, he explained it's just red, yellow, black, and that's what I got on the wires going to the pump. It's just red, yellow, black. And once he explained that, it just seemed so simple, but until he said it out loud, I just, for some reason, it scares me. I don't want to burn something up for doing something stupid. I don't want to get electrocuted for doing something stupid. I have a very lack of confidence when it comes to electrical. But anyways, the electrical's hooked up to the going down the pump. It's hooked up going down the pump there. Come over here to the control box. It's hooked up to the control box. Let me go get the new control box. I plan on using a variable speed controller when we get into the house. This is the new control box. I plan on getting a variable speed controller when we get into the house. So this is just the cheapest control box I could get to test the well. But I need to test the well because we're about 600 feet from the house. And before I run power and is that on video? So here's the control box. That control box is no good, but the receiver part, nothing wrong with it. I'm all wired into that. Because before I run wire all the way over here and buy a variable speed control box, because they're not cheap, I just want to test this well, see if it produces what it should. So we're going to the generator. Main breaker's off. We got plug it into the 30 amp. This thing should only draw 8, I believe. Plug it into the 30 amp 240 volt. But yeah, the breaker's off. Everything should be hooked up. I got an extension cord running to the control box. The control box runs over to the well. So start the generator, and once I get the generator started, I'll take you guys over by the, how can I set this? Once I get the generator started, I'll take you guys over by the Once I get the generator started, I'll take you guys over by the pump and I'll take you to the discharge and see if we're getting any water. Let's see if we got water. So, I'm back. The generator over there has power at both outlets and is showing a draw on both lines coming out. The control box shows power. I can't check it when it's on, but when I pull the control box off, it shows power at the control box, line 1 and line 2 coming in. And I haven't checked the well I haven't checked the wiring at the well for voltage. It doesn't stay on long enough to do that. Let me turn this off. I had the black and the red wire. So the single black over in the control box is marked red, and then the black and white are black and yellow in the control box. So I don't have, I'm showing a draw on the black from the black and white, but not on the black by itself. So I'm showing a draw from what's labeled black, but not from what's labeled red. I swapped the black and red wires that are going down to the pump, that are going down to the motor, and it stays with the one that is labeled red at the control box. Does not show any draw. So therefore that leads me to believe that there is either a problem with the control box, or there is a problem with the wire that is in the Romex all by itself, labeled red at the control box. So I'm going to try and wire the power cord from the generator directly into the control box, and wire this also directly into the control box, bypassing the wires running from here, the pitless unit here, over to the control box. Wish me luck.